All right, welcome, welcome. We are about to go live on YouTube. Let's see here. Let's see if it's going to let me go. There is Dan. Hey, Dan. How are you, brother? Oh, I can't hear you.
Um, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, it did something weird.
I know. I'm still trying to figure out this technology, this Riverside
Mm.
YouTube. So it took
Looks
me
like
a
they've
while.
updated the interface, for the phone at least.
All right. Well, I think you can hear me. So we are going to get started here. This is Robert Bolden, Life Transformed, and this is We Wednesday because we are in this together. I jump on here every week about this time to share some new insights, some new awareness that I've received through my journey following Jesus. That's what it's all about. And the reason I do that is because we are in this together. And if I can share something that's impacted me, maybe you can share and relate to what has impacted me, and you're able to, just say, wow, I feel that too. Hold on one second. Just said it right there. Yeah. Somebody's dropping off something. All right. Um, so anyway, that's what we do this for. Dan jumps on quite often, and he doesn't know what I'm going to talk about. And he's just going to respond to whatever the aha moment was for me. So let's get started right here, right now. Okay, here we go. Being single brings unique challenges and unique joys. If I look in the past and ask God to bring things to the surface and show me red flags early on. So I'm doing a study all about red flags. And, on my journey, I've been married a couple of times, had a couple of relationships that just didn't go right. Uh, and I take full responsibility for those things as well. But the revelation for me was I read that, well, Jesus was single. He was never married. Paul was single. He was never married. And I was reading that in the context of a book. And really, the message was that's okay. And for me, that was a big revelation because I grew up in this culture where what you did was, you grew up, you went to school, went to college, graduated, you got married, have a kid, and lived happily ever after. That's what I thought. So I just knew for me my dad was married when he was 27. Literally, you all, as I was approaching 27, I'm like, well, here it is. I need to get married when I'm 27. All these things that when I reflect back on it, for all the wrong reasons, right? And again, I'm an open book when it comes to that kind of stuff. So this really gave me a feeling of peace. Paul talks about in the Bible, yep, if you're inclined to get married, that's great. But if you're not, there's trouble there. So just be careful. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. He says it much more eloquently. But well, for me, that was the big revelation that it's okay to be single. So I'm on this journey now. No relationship at all, for at least so God told me like last January for a year, and then he extended it through the end of August. So now I don't know. I'm still, but the beauty has been that I've been able to go out and, to the best of my ability, be like Jesus out wherever God calls me on a particular day. And my friend Tim said it's because you've got that freedom. Because if you are married or in a relationship, you don't have the freedom that somebody's single. I mean, it's pretty logical. It makes sense. So you don't have the freedom that somebody else would have. So God would use that. So that was my big revelation. And for those of you who are like me, or single too. And here's just red flags. I'm going to share 3 red flags that Devotion shared. So maybe it'll help somebody out there. Number one, they cut off all their good friends and only want to be with you. That's a red flag. 2, you can't be yourself around them. Red flag. And 3, they have a warped view of Jesus, which is, of course, the one that, to me, that's number one in every book, the whole equally yoked. So that was my aha, to be able to rest into it's okay to be single and not even be pursuing a relationship. So, Dan, what do you think after all of that?
Well, it's been quite a while since I've been single. Um, um, but um, yeah, whatever situation we're in, we should be actively seeking joy and seeking to live into that situation, experiencing the best that God has for us in that time. Um, there's this kind of tension. It's not quite a paradox, but this tension between, all right, being satisfied in the position that we're in, and sometimes knowing that while you're here now, God may have you somewhere else in the future. And so it was funny. I actually met my wife shortly after I had been like, all right, I'm done looking, just like whatever happens, happens. And then I go and I do some mission work in Canada, and my wife is from the States, Midwest, like me, and she goes she goes up there and meets me, and we're both working in Toronto and doing ministry work, and that's how we meet. But I think one of the keys for me is whatever situation you're in, be be content, but also actively choosing to grow as who God has you, so that you're ready for whatever's next, whether that's the next season of ministry and work, whether that's new relationship, whatever, that you're growing in Jesus, so that you continue to uh, prepare yourself for what He has next for you, whether He's given you a clear vision of that or whether He hasn't.
No, that's beautiful. And you know what? As you were talking there, it just gave me such clarity because before I knew Jesus, which was most of my life, the only thing I had to fall back on was what culture was telling me that you should get married, you should be in a relationship. So that's all I knew. So that's what I did. But as you spoke through that, and this is the encouragement to anybody out there, if you're not following Jesus, give it a try. Maybe just try it for a day or a week or something. But give it a try because you will be, I can guarantee it because I was after years and years, you'll be amazed at how things clarify for you and how this peace and dare I say joy in this broken world can be accessed by you because it just changes your focus. It changes your, our desires are just like crazy, right? We are desirous beings. We are going to desire until the day we die. So we're always going to be desiring, and that'll never be satisfied. So it's understanding that and saying, okay, so maybe there is something more. And when you go down, you come to that fork and you start following Jesus, holy cow, there's a lot more, let me tell you. And it's not empty calories either. It will fill you up to overflowing. So I'm just saying, if you're not a follower of Jesus, I'm not going to try to twist your arm or convince you. I'm just saying, give it a try. It's been amazing for me. Maybe, I'm sure there are other people in your life, just talk to them and see Hey, where are you on your spiritual journey? What do you think about this Jesus thing? Have conversations about it, talk about it, read about it, engage around it. And our community is a great place to do that. We don't push Jesus on anybody. We hope to. I had a Holy Spirit this morning, Dan. It was, oh, geez, I got to remember it. G B J T. GBJT. Or LBGT. LBJ, whatever it is. It was let's go be Jesus. Let's go be Jesus. And the vision that came to me is like you're hanging out with your friends at your house or whatever. You're like, let's go downtown and be Jesus. Let's go be Jesus. LB, let's go BJ. Yeah, whatever. Let's go be Jesus. And that's what it's all about. That's what we do in our community is we want to embody the kind of environment that Jesus created and longs for us to create, to treat people the way Jesus treated people, to handle situations the way Jesus handled situations, to call out the things that aren't right in the world the way Jesus called them out. But do it in an amazing way. So, there we go. Dan, any other comments on what I just said after me commenting on what you said?
No, I think that's good.
All right. Listen, y'all, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been Robert Bolden and Dan Hendon, Life Transformed, We Wednesday, where we are in this together. We'll see you next week at this same time, this same place. We love you. Take care.
God bless.